What's up, everybody? Andrew with NQS Performance Outdoors. As you can see, I'm out in my garage today. If you caught my last video, you'll know that I bought a brand new 2019 Alumacraft. Check that video out if you want a quick tour of the boat. Today I'm going to start accessorizing the boat. In particular, I'm going to be installing a 3-bank onboard battery charger, a NOCO Genius to be specific. I am out in the garage. It's cold out. So I've got the garage door closed. If the lighting is a little bit off, I want to apologize in advance for that. But this is a pretty simple project, you guys. And in the beginning, I was quite intimidated by taking this task on. Fortunately, my buddy James was able to come by the house and give me some pointers, get me pointed in the right direction, and I have plenty of confidence that I can go ahead and button this up on my own. Hopefully the information I pass along here is useful to you guys so that you can go ahead and do the same without having to pay somebody to do a simple job like this one. If I were to rate this job on a difficulty scale of 1 to 10, I would say that it's probably a 2 or a 3. It just takes a little bit of planning and a little bit of time. Not a whole lot of difficulty involved once you actually get into the nuts and bolts of the job. So stay tuned. We're going to take a look at the supplies you're going to need and the process you're going to go through to install your own onboard battery charger. All right, folks, I've got kind of the basic supplies that you're going to need laid out with you. We'll just start left to right. First and foremost, you are going to need a cordless drill. Make sure you have a good selection of drill bits on hand to make sure you can match the screws in your boat. Mine happen to be a square, but like I said, just make sure you have the right one so you don't end up stripping anything out, because you are going to have to put this all back together when we're done. You're going to need a wire crimper splicer tool. I had to borrow this one from James because mine was kind of a piece of crap. I'm not, like I said in the intro, I'm not very handy with the tools. That's something I need to improve on, and I need to invest into some better tools, most likely. You're going to need a bit of electrical tape. You're going to need some flex tubing. That's just going to tidy up your wires, keep everything nice when you're done. Couple packs of butt splices. I went with the waterproof version. And then, of course, you're going to need a heat gun to shrink the tubing on the waterproof butt splices. And then lastly, obviously, you're going to need some wire. James happened to have some 12 gauge wire at his house from a boat restoration project he's been working on. So we were able to use some of his wire. So another thanks to James for providing the wire for this project. So that's about it, you guys. Tools are pretty basic. I had most of this stuff. I even had a wire crimper. Mine just wasn't very good, so I borrowed James. His was a lot nicer than mine. Mine was just small and chintzy. So get a good one, you guys. Make life easy on yourself. Now that we know what tools we're going to need, I'll jump in the boat and I will kind of walk you through the process of where this charger is going to go and why. All right, quick walkthrough of my boat here and how we arrived at the location for my charger. I was planning on using this compartment right here, but I am running a 24-volt Chirova trolling motor, and those two batteries took up the bulk of this compartment, and I grossly underestimated the size of this 3-bank charger when I ordered it online. It is like 11 by 8 and 4 inches thick, so I just don't have room for it in this compartment. I didn't want to put it over here and sacrifice any of the storage. Again, you guys, apologize if the lighting isn't the greatest. But I don't want to open the garage. It's too cold outside today. So plan B was to come into this little area here next to the live well. But until we got that panel off, we couldn't see how far out the live well actually extended. And there was not room for the charger in there either. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to run the cables down through the rod locker and up to the batteries from this back compartment where my starting battery is. We're going to put it kind of in the middle here off to the side. That'll leave this entire compartment over here for some storage if I need it. I'm just trying to be as economical with the space as I can. Here's the actual unit itself. You can see how large that thing actually is. I didn't anticipate that when I was looking at the images of it online, so that caught me a little bit off guard, but we're going to be all right. It just means a little extra wiring. The reason I went with a 3-bank charger, guys, too, I want to talk about that a little bit. A lot of guys say you only need a 2-bank charger because your main engine will charge the starting battery, which is true. With that said, I do live in Wisconsin, and my boat will sit in storage for as many as 5 months this winter. So To me, it's really important to have these batteries tended all winter. These new chargers not only charge, but they also maintain and tend your batteries. I want to keep the health of my batteries and keep them running as long as I can. It's just an additional expense to replace batteries that I don't really want to take on. So I went ahead and bought the 3-bank charger so that I could maintain all 3 of these batteries all winter long and not have to worry about it. So that's kind of the thought process on why the 3-bank charger, why it's going where it's going, and I'm going to do a little bit of wire prep off camera, and then when I come back, you guys, I'm going to show you a little bit more of the process of how this thing actually gets installed. Stay tuned. All right, you guys, I got all the wire prep done. We'll hop up in the boat and I'll give you a look at that and we'll see what it looks like. All right, you guys, again, I know that the lighting isn't exactly great in the garage. I apologize for that, but I think you're going to be able to get a general sense of what's going on here. So here's the actual charger. You can see back here above the battery, there's a little hole in the side of the wall. So we ran the cable through there. Took the cup holder out just to give me some room to work. And then there's another hole right here, runs alongside of the boat. We're going to run this up, down, all this cable down through the rod locker. We're going to come up past the live well. Got another access point right there. That's going to take me into the main compartment. Got some of my pieces in the way here, but there's my 2 batteries. You can see all I've got left to do on these is heat shrink the tubing, get them connected to the battery, and get this deck put back together, and we're about done. So I'm going to get this heat shrink done, put this bolt back together, and we'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so I got my heat gun here. I'm just going to tidy up these last couple of connections, and then we'll go from there. Should just take a couple of minutes. It takes a little longer out here in the garage just because it's so cold out, so bear with me. All right, you guys, so that about does it for the wiring. All I've got left to do now is get the Genius set in place where I'm going to permanently mount it. That's going to allow me to take any extra slack out of the line and get that all tidied up. Those wires are running through my rod locker. Most likely those rod lockers are going to be more tackle storage than anything else, but in the event I do want to stick a few rods in there from time to time, I don't want to have to worry about tangling up with those wires. So I'm going to get that all tidied up. And then there's one other thing I wanted to mention to you guys. You're going to have to cut the leads off depending on where you mount your onboard charger. So there's one really important detail that we should take a look at. I'm going to flip this camera around and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. All right, so when you do go ahead and cut those leads off, just keep in mind there are inline fuses in these lines. So you're going to want to keep those as close to the battery as possible. Make sure that you have easy access to those in the event that you do blow a fuse. You don't want that buried up to where you're going to have to take the deck off your boat just to get at it. So when you cut those, keep that in mind. Keep it as close to the battery as you possibly can. So just one last little quick tip for you guys. Hope that one helps you out. I probably should have mentioned it sooner, but just kind of slipped my mind until just now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to button up a few things here. I'm going to get the deck put together, and we're going to wrap this thing up. All right, you guys, that's about a wrap for the battery charger installation. The only thing I've got left to do now is actually connect the batteries and plug them in. Another special thanks to my buddy James for coming by, helped me get me going in the right direction on this. Couldn't have done it without you. I hope you guys found some good information in this video. I hope this gives you the confidence to work on your own boat instead of paying somebody else to do it. If you liked what you saw here today, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit the bell button so you get notified when we upload new videos. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Until next time, tight lines.